Okay, so the purpose of these videos is to help educate you in a simple way so you start to understand what to look for in your own golf swing and what is important. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how to get the club face working properly in the backswing. I think this is very misunderstood, and oftentimes players are doing the wrong thing when they're taking this club away. The two biggest things that I see happen here are the club starts to work a little bit too far to the inside, which also gets the club face then too open. So I would define a square club face in the takeaway as one that is matching the spine angle. Ideally, we're going to see that club face or club head slightly outside of our hands, and then we want to see that club face match the spine angle in this position. That would be a square position. Really all I'm doing to create that position is just a simple rotation as I go away, using the torso and the rib cage and the shoulders in a sequence to move the club without really doing much with the forearms in this position. Very, very little forearm rotation. As we continue to take the club away, what we're going to do is bend the right wrist back so you can see this angle here increasing in the right wrist as we push down with the butt of the left hand on the butt of the club or on the end of the club to create an elevation that limits face rotation. You'll see this is a very common trait with a lot of tour players where the club face just doesn't get very open in the backswing at all. There are some guys who get a little bit more open than this, but again, these are my preferences as I'm swinging the club. We finally get to the top of the swing, and the position that I'm looking for here is going to be the left hand matching, or the back of the left hand kind of matching the club face there. We can be a little more closed. As you can see, I am here. Getting more open than that, I think, tends to cause players to come over the top in the downswing. So just a simple explanation of how the club face is supposed to work in the backswing. Most players I see tend to get the club face too open on the way back, and it just creates too many problems of getting the shaft too steep on the way down, and it's very difficult to correct from those positions. If we watch a tour player do this same movement in the backswing, we're going to see similar tendencies. So we go back here with my swing to the address position and then into the takeaway where we watch that club face not really rotating that much, kind of pointed down at the golf ball. This is Jason Day on the right now, and we're going to see very, very similar action, right? Club face staying very, very square in my opinion in the backswing, kind of matching his spine angle here. And then this is the start of him starting to bend back his right wrist to keep the club face from rotating that much. So he's got the club face angled down at the ground here as he bends back that right wrist as he continues to turn to the top of the swing. I'm doing a similar motion. I've got a little bit steeper shaft plane, but we can see here in terms of the club face, very, very similar positions. Now we get to the top of the swing, and Jason Day and I are going to have, again, a flat left wrist and a club face that kind of matches that position. So just an example of how I like to teach the club face in the backswing. Very, very little face rotation. The bending of the right arm will typically create all of the face rotation that you're going to need to the top of the swing. And then we'll put a drill in here to help you create this feel on your own when you're practicing at home. Okay, so a simple way to practice this is to put an alignment stick on the target line, right? You want to have it far enough away so you're not actually going to hit it. The idea of this is to just kind of help us visualize what we want to feel. Like I was saying, one of the most common issues is the club face working in behind the hands and that club face getting too open versus we were talking about keeping the club face more out in front of the hands and the club face angled down at the ground. As that club face gets open, the tendency would be to then steepen the shaft from the top of the swing in an effort to try to close the club face. So what we want to do is we want to keep that club face out in front of our hands as we're taking it away. Ideally, the hands will work kind of inside the stick as I keep that shaft out in front. That limits forearm rotation, keeps the club face a little bit more closed in the takeaway, and gets us into that position where it's matching our spine angle. That is the setup to kind of allow us to get the club working a little bit better in the backswing. So just a simple little drill that you can do, making sure that the feel here would be keeping that right hand more on top of the shaft and that club face angled more down at the ball. If you could get into this position with the club out in front of your hands and the club face angled down at the ground, that's a really good start to getting the club into a square position during the backswing. I appreciate you watching the video if you've made it this far. I just understand that I've spent a lot of time teaching golf lessons in my career. At this point, I've probably done somewhere in the range of 25 to 30,000 golf lessons, including somewhere around 2,000 golf lessons online. So again, I may change my mind on these topics down the road, but currently the way I'm teaching and helping players play better golf is by using these feels and positions in the golf swing. So if you need more help, let me know. Comment below, find me on Instagram, find me on Skillist, and we can start working together. Thanks.